A very good morning to all of you. This is Shweta Gandhi, an IELTS trainer from Masters Group. We are back again. This is Saturday, and every Saturday we are having a FB Live session, which specifically for you guys, for your IELTS modules, for your IELTS listening, reading, writing, and speaking practice. And what are the tips and strategies we need to provide? That because with the help of these strategies, you will be able to catch your answers, to catch your things. And today we are going to start with the reading part, and that reading part specifically we are going to have the time management. The time management is what you need to do, what you need to cover all the points, how you can manage your time in reading, what is the importance of reading, and how and why you're not getting good marks, and how you need to and what you need to do in order to get good bands. So today we are going to start with the reading passage, the reading module, in which I will tell you all the things, how to comprehend the reading passage, what need to do, what need not to do. So in order to get good bands, and with the help of some tricks, I'll let you know that within 1 hour how you can manage your time, how you can go on for reading, and what are the specific things that you need to work on, the skimming, the scanning, how to comprehend it, what is the importance of vocabulary, or maybe what is not important. Maybe somewhere vocabulary is important, but somewhere vocabulary is not important. So reading is specifically, you need to read. It is a kind of receptive skill. Reading module in your IELTS exam is a kind of receptive skills where you are being judged by your logical thinking, by your assessing the answers, by your fetching the answers in a proper way. So what I feel that specifically, if I'm going to tell you today that what is the reading part, as you know, everybody, like, there are 3 reading passages for academics and 5 reading passages for general. The basic difference between the academic reading and general reading is the number of questions or the number of passages. We have 3 sections for both of them, for academic reading and for general reading, but talking about the number of passages, it differs. Well, in academic, we have 3 sections, but 1 passage in each section. Whereas in general module, we have 3 sections, but the first section contains 2 passages, the second section contains 2 passages, and third section contains 1 long passage. Only there is a difference of the number of passages. Otherwise, we can say the type of questions are same, but fetching the answer is somehow different, because academic, it is completely based on the academic part, where you need to fetch your answers related to we can say the academic session, like your the topics related to space, robotics, exploration, etc. But whereas general topics, it is all about we need to fetch out the topics related to the logical consistency of our mind, the logical thinking, the analytical part, where the general reading is what I feel general reading is a little bit easy, but it is trickier. Whereas academic reading is a little bit tough, but it is to the point. I'll get the answer related to my context, related to my vocabulary. But whereas in general, I need to understand, I need to follow some logic, I need to find out the things according to my senses, my IQ. Okay. Well, total number of questions are 40. In our first slide, we can see that the whole simple form I have given you, that reading it is actually 1 hour reading module, which includes academic 3 reading passages each section. There are 3 sections, of course. Whereas general, we have 3 sections, plus in that 2 short passage 1 section, 2 short passage second section, and 1 long passage third section. Total questions are 40. Okay, the time management for each passage is, in passage 1, you have to give 15 minutes, passage 2, you have to give 16 to 17 minutes, and passage 3, you have to give 25 minutes. After that, you have to have at least 5 minutes for transferring and checking your answers. Why I have given these, like why the timing, it is increasing. The reason is, as you move on, you feel the level of difficulty increases, because in section 1 you will be finding the section 1 is little bit easy, section 2 it is moderate, and section 3 it is tough. So depending upon the time, the value, the difficulty level, you have to give your time. So as if you're not able to find out the section 3, make sure that at least you can cover passage 1 and passage 2 with a good command and with appropriate accuracy. Okay, so this is our basic general the format of reading, that what reading is. Now, talking about the question types of the reading modules, we have around 10 types of questions. The first type of question is multiple choice questions. Very easy. Yes, it is a little bit trickier also for academics, but for, I suppose, for general, it is quite easy. Multiple choice questions in which you'll be getting a question with 3 options, and you have to find the answer according to the question. Like, for example, according to the author, which what suggestion has been given in the paragraph 1. Right, so in the paragraph 1, you have to identify the suggestion for general. But for academics, they'll directly ask you the factual based questions. The second type of question is short answer questions. What is short answer questions? The simple one-word question or one-word answer or two-word answer. They'll give you a statement with a blank, and you have to fill that, or short answer, you have to give one-word answer or two-word answer related to the question. The third answer is sentence completion. It's a kind of fill up the blanks where you will be having a statement with fill up, a single fill up, or a kind of paragraph in which multiple fill ups are there. The fourth type of question is notes, table, summary, flow chart, diagram. Completion is a kind of graphical structure in which you'll be having a flow chart, maybe a table or a diagram completion, or you have to fill the note in which you have a kind of diagram appearance, and you have to fill that. The fifth and the most important type of question type is yes, no, not given, or true, false, not given. Many examiners say that there is a difference between these questions, but I believe that there is, many examiners, many trainers say that the basic difference is the factual based or research based. What I feel, there is basically, if you are getting the clear concept, if you're comprehending the paragraph well, I do not think that there is a basic difference. There is nothing like that, but students do make mistakes. What are the mistakes they are doing? That whenever, if the question is giving you true and you're writing, whenever the question type is yes, no, not given, and you're so habitual of writing true, false, not given, if the question is yes, no, not given, then instead of yes, you're writing true. Instead of no, you're writing false. So that means you're dealing it in a wrong way. Okay. So yes, no, not given means the question type is yes, no, not given. If the statement is yes, you have to write yes rather than true. If the statement is false, you have to write false rather than no. Okay. So be aware what is your question type, what is the way. Okay. Sixth one is classification. You will get classification kind of question. It is a kind of table in which you'll be getting fill-ups, and you have to fill that. Okay, the seventh type is matching list and phrases, which is very, very important. Matching list of phrases or match the heading. I suppose 7th and 8th, choosing headings for paragraphs, they're almost same. Matching list, whatever, it is a kind of match the column, match the headings, in which you have to read the paragraph. There is a list of comment given in the question type. You have to read the paragraph, identify the gist, and match the crux of the heading to the list of comments. So match the heading and true, false, not given. These two questions are most important type of questions in the reading part, where you have to deal with the crux of the paragraph when you are getting match the headings, but you have to identify logically for yes, no, not given, or true, false, not given. The ninth is scanning and identifying location of information. It's very, very convenient. It is not that a specific kind of question that you are often having in your examination. And 10th is labeling a diagram. Again, we have already discussed the kind of flow chart or diagram or a graphic you are taking. So specifically, there are specific 5 types of questions. The first is true, false, not given. The second is yes, no, not given. The third is short answer question. The fourth is multiple choice questions. And the fifth is sentence completion. That's a kind of fill up the blanks. Okay. Match the heading and true, false, not given are those questions in which you have to work very hard, because these are actually very, very important. Around 50% of the questions come from this. Okay. The next is, I have given you the IELTS reading and listening band score calculator. Listening, it's fine, you can see, but whereas for reading, you can also see academic and general. There's a difference between the band scores for academic and general. You can see if you are getting 23 to 26 for academics, you are getting 6 bands. But there's no criteria in general module of the reading band scores. Means if you want 6 for general students, if you want 6, you have to have plus 30. That means 31, 32, you are getting 6. 30 to 33, you are getting 6.5. So according to this band descriptor, band score calculator, you will be getting bands. So make sure whenever you are doing listening and reading, you have to go beyond 30. You have to go for, you have to fight for 30. Then for general, you are getting 6. But if you are getting 30 for academic students, you are getting 7 bands. So there is at least 1 band jump in between the academic and general. Okay, so general students, you have to work hard because your answers are logical, you will get it very quickly. But if you are getting 30 only, then 30, in fact I can say 31 to 32, then only you are getting good bands. Mean not good bands, 6 bands is not that good. Okay, so if you want to get 7.5 or 8, you have to go plus 35. Okay, so this is the band score. Then next, moving forward to the next part, what is next thing is what are the reading tips. Specifically today's session is how to manage your time, what you need to do for reading. The main goal of IELTS reading is to test your ability to understand what you have read, right? So importance is how your mind is working when you are reading something. Are you reading it properly? I'm not saying that you have to read the whole paragraph. I'm not at all saying this. What I'm saying is you need to read the first paragraph very precisely, very in a very understand manner, because it is that particular first paragraph in which you are getting the importance of the topic, what the topic is saying to you. So even if you don't know some words, it's okay, you can guess the meaning and still get, okay, this is the first line that I've given you. That's the reading. The importance of reading is they are checking your understanding of paragraph or understanding of English. So what you need to do, see, many students actually what they do, they read the whole paragraph. What I feel, it is your time management strategy where you need to manage your time. So if you're managing your time, that is the only way you can cover all the 40 questions. So covering all the 40 questions requires some tips, some strategies. And what are these? The first thing, you have to work on 2 things. My whole today's session will be specifically focusing on skimming and scanning, and how to do skimming and how to do scanning. There are 2 technical terms in reading modules, the skimming and scanning. Now what is skimming? Skim over and watch for the answers. See, I'll let you know the basic things, the definition of the 2 techniques, that is called skimming and scanning. What is skimming? Skimming means you have to read the first 2 lines and 3 lines of the paragraph and last 2-3 lines of each paragraph. What I'm saying, the first thing when you are getting reading, read the first paragraph full. You have to read first paragraph properly so that you will be getting the topic understanding. You will be getting the understanding of the topic, that what topic is all about, what is the type of question, what is the type of topic. It is related to science, it is related to history, it is related to literature, anything, right? So read the first paragraph properly. After reading the first paragraph properly, when you're starting a second paragraph, do not read it. Do not read the whole paragraph. Read the 3 lines properly. You have to read the 3 lines, starting 3 lines of the paragraph and ending 3 lines of the paragraph. In between, you have to scan the paragraph. Now, scanning is another technique, another methodology in which you need not to read it properly, but you need to fetch out some important information that is there. Okay, so that information is very much important. For example, you're fetching some nouns, you're fetching some dates, you're fetching some proper, the keywords. The very important thing skimming is read 3 lines starting and 3 lines ending, and in between you have to scan. In between means bird's eye view. You have to just quickly read in between the lines. Okay, so let's start with the first tip, 10 IELTS reading strategies I'm giving you. The first is skim over and watch for answers. Now, skimming refers to looking only for the main ideas. You don't need You don't need to read attentively every word. Remember, you just need to answer the questions, nothing more. So skim over the text and then start looking for the answers. Okay. The first thing is, after skimming, just go to the questions, identify the type of questions, understand the type, underline the keyword. See, it will give you only, I'll give you only three things. The first thing, read the first paragraph properly. The second thing, skim and scan. And the third thing, go to the question, read the questions, identify the question type, underline the keywords, then come back to the paragraph and read according to the questions. Okay. The second thing is, watch your time. Don't forget, you have only 60 minutes to read 3 texts and answer 40 questions. So watch your time. It's a time management, and you won't get additional time to filling your answer sheet. So make sure you have to manage your time for filling it. So what is that? You have only 60 minutes, and in between you have to read the 3 long passages. So for that, please make sure that it is a time management strategy where you have to give, you need not to read the full paragraph. In fact, I can say just read according to the question, read according to the question's keywords. What I do when I start reading, I read the first paragraph properly, then I go to the questions, then I read the questions, then I underline the keywords. And what is keyword? Keyword means in which you need to underline the noun forms and underline the verbs, underline the basic topic, and then I come back to the paragraph, identify that keyword lies in which paragraph. I read only that paragraph and then I get the answer. The very important thing is, you will get the answers in the reading sequence, in a sequence, I can say. In a sequence, if you're getting your answers in a sequence way, that's the best methodology, the best trick. You need not to find it out randomly. So you can see in your next, is your spelling correct? Check your spelling before writing your answer, and the answer is blank. You will get 0 points for the answer if spelled incorrectly, of course. If your spelling is correct, then only you're getting marks. If you're writing it, if you know the answer, but if you're writing it, if you're writing it wrong, in a wrong manner, so you'll not get answer. Although you know the answer, yet you're not getting the bands. The reason is you have written it incorrectly. Okay, so make sure about the spellings, make sure about the singulars and plurals also. If the answer demands S in a word, you have to write S because your passage is writing S. For example, a normal example I'm giving you, that a family. For example, your answer is family and you're writing families. The answer is wrong. Or if the passage is saying families and you're writing family, then the answer is wrong. So please make sure about the spelling mistakes and singular plural mistake. Then keep the order. Remember that the question follow the order of the text. So the answer to the question 5 will come after the answer to the question 4 and so on. So I told you that the order is in a sequence. You need not to find your answers in a random way. The question 5th answer will always lies in the after the question 4. So this is the ordering. It is a very good technique. It is a very good thing that you should understand, that you need not to find your answers in a random manner. Okay. The next is underline. Now underline is where you need to underline your things, what you are reading. The skimming technique is not only that you need to read. Why reading? Why reading is important, because why skimming is important, because you need to underline the keywords. Underline the keywords means you have to highlight the text. When you skim over the text, underline the most important phrases. It will help you to save some time when you will search for answers. Let me give an example. For example, if I'm saying that I'm reading a passage, okay, and in that particular passage I'm getting researchers, various researchers. If I'm getting around 10 researchers in my whole passage, what I do, if I'm getting that researchers in my passage, what I do, I underline or I circle it out, the researcher's name. That is my keyword. No, I underline the researcher's name. Now, after underlining, why I'm underlining these researchers' names, because I know that one of the question types will be there. in which they'll ask you which researcher is saying which statement. Which researcher is saying which statement. Are you getting? So if I'm getting it when I'm reading it, and if I'm getting the researcher without wasting time, I underline all the important things, because I know that if the question type is saying which comment belongs to which researcher, so it is very much easier for me that I just went back to my passage, and I read that which researcher is saying which thing, and accordingly I come to my passage comments, and then I make the correct answer, because I know where the answer is or in which paragraph. So it's very important. Unfamiliar vocabulary, it's fine if you don't have familiar vocabulary. It's very, very fine, because do not worry if text seems unfamiliar to you. You don't know some words, it's okay. Every answer can be found in the text, so you don't need any addition. Okay, so this is the bookish language. Let me give a good thing. If you do not understand the vocabulary in your reading passage, what you can do, it is very, very easy, that identify the tone of the passage. Tone, it means there are two types of tone. The first tone is positive tone. The second tone is negative tone. If you know that when you are reading a passage and you are getting the positive tone, if you are reading a paragraph and you are getting a positive tone, means all the vocabularies are actually of positive tone. And it's fine if you do not know the vocabulary. What happens? If you do not know the vocabulary, you are getting the tone that this is positive. That means the word which you do not know in the paragraph, it is actually positive word, and you can create your logical thinking, right? Rational thinking is what? This is only the rational thinking. Okay, for example, if I'm saying something is detrimental to my health, like excess eating of junk food is not good and it is detrimental to the health. Now you know that excess eating of junk food is not good. So my statement is negative right now, and it is detrimental to the health, right? So the word detrimental you do not know, right? But by analyzing the thing that my whole sentence is negative, it is going in negative way, so I can create a logic that this detrimental word is negative. It is not good, right? So accordingly, if you're not at all familiar with your vocabulary, I can tell you that please be aware of the tone of the passage or the paragraph specifically, because every paragraph is saying something different. Maybe the first paragraph is positive, maybe the second paragraph is negative, maybe the third paragraph is the mixture. So identify the tone, what happens or what is happening inside the paragraph. There are lots of vocabulary specifically for academic students. There are lots of vocabularies you are unfamiliar, you do not know, you find it very uncommon. It's fine, it happens to us also. We are not dictionary. So if you are not at all identifying, understand the tone. Pay attention to the details. Look thoroughly through the text. Any special features such as capital letters, underlining, italics, figures, graphs, tables are likely to matter, of course. Pay attention to the details, okay? No blank boxes. Answer all the questions even if you're not sure in your answer. You don't get penalty. There is no negative marking there. So if you do not know the answers, make sure you can write whatever you feel, whatever your instinct is saying, So please do not leave your answer sheet blank. Do not leave your answer boxes blank, because there is no negative marking. And if there is no negative marking, you have the authority to complete, to write the things properly, to write the answers. Okay, so understand the importance that if you are aware about the things, make sure that you are writing it. Okay, so the first part, again, just for a moment, I'm repeating that what is skimming? Skimming is something where you have to read the whole paragraph first, the first whole paragraph, and then after read 2 lines, 3 lines of the starting and ending of each paragraph, and thoroughly you have to just go between the lines. In between the lines, you have to read to scan it. Okay. The next thing is cross out the wrong answers. It means eliminate the wrong answers. If you saw answer that you are sure is wrong, cross it out, because it will make you out of your it will make you out of your dilemma. If you're perplexed, it's fine, but if you are not, if you want to get out of this, you have to eliminate your answer. It will also save your time, because you're not reading that answer again and again, because you know that this answer has already been done. And sometimes if it is not at all into the paragraph, you can just eliminate it. Okay, the last is a very good thing, that choose your own technique. Now what is that choose your own technique? See, it depends upon person to person, it varies. Some people prefer to read the question first, some people prefer to read the passage first. So according to me, what I do, I read first the first paragraph properly, and then I go to the questions. It depends upon you. It may sound strange at first, but there is no ultimate advice which technique fits you best. You should choose yourself how to search for right answers and what to do first. Read questions or text. A lot of successful candidates prefer to read the text first and only then answer the question. But some say it's better to whatever you feel the right strategy for you. You can apply if you're doing for the first time, apply both the techniques one by one. Whatever thing is convenient for you, you can go through that. You can opt it. If you are not if you're not confident, if you're not aware, like if you're not getting the proper way after reading the passage, and then you're going to the questions, you're mixing everything, you can just read the questions first. Okay, read the questions and then go to the passage. This is one of the techniques. And the second technique is read the passage first and go to the questions. This is again the second technique. What I feel, read first 2 paragraphs and then go to the questions. You will identify it and it will work definitely. Okay, so make sure it is up to you. It is up to your way. It is up to your strategy. It is up to your way of getting your answers. But what important is, your answers must be right. Your answers must be correct. Okay, so it is up to you only. Now, a strategy to enhance reading comprehension and memory improvement. Now, what is reading? Reading in specifically IELTS or any examination, I can say. The important factor is you have to read not for your knowledge at the moment. You have to read in the examination not for your knowledge. You have to read so in order to get answers. So do not read at the moment, very normally, very slowly. You have to read it fast so that within the time span you can cover your answers. So again, read any academic text twice, highlight or underline the new words simultaneously. These are the 2-step process going simultaneously. If you are reading the academic or general, I can say underline the new words. Try to guess the meaning. Again, I told you before this that if you do not understand the word meaning, it cannot be exact, but at least you are getting the positive or negative part of it. The scandal had a detrimental effect on his reputation, for example. The scandal had a detrimental effect. Now, scandal word is itself negative. Everybody knows. It is a mind game. If you know that scandal is negative, so definitely detrimental is not the positive word we are indulging into it. Okay, so please aware of the words, aware of the thoughts, what they are saying you. It's very easy. It is up to our mind. It is up to our the way of getting answers, the way of fetching answers. Okay, now if you are going to the IELTS examination, for your IELTS examination, what things you need to understand? What are the important things you need to understand? The first is IELTS test day tips. IELTS test day tips. When you are going for examination, you are very anxious, you are not at all feeling well, because you are actually that the trepidation is in you. You are not very much confident. But why you're not confident in reading? I know right now in today's examination we are not getting a good reading material because we're finding it very difficult. But without any stress, if you are with proper concentration, if you are reading your answers properly, if you're reading your passage properly, if you're underlining the keywords and underlining the question keywords, and then come to the passage and find out the keywords in your reading paragraph, you will be able to get your answers quickly. Okay, just underline the questions keywords. And I also want to tell you one thing, that the same noun cannot be changed. Of course, we cannot change the noun. If the passage is saying, for example, Canada, Australia, that noun cannot be changed in the passage. And for example, time 1990, that time cannot be changed. So you have to identify what cannot be changed is your keyword, the first thing. The macro part is your noun, and the micro part, what is going inside it, whether it's happening as a verb or as an adjective. So adjective and verbs can be changed, but noun cannot be changed. Okay, so the first thing is, look out for the title. What you need when you have your reading part. The first thing is, look out for the titles, headings, and any special features such as capital letters, underlining, italics, figures, graphs, and tables. The first thing is this. You have to underline everything, whatever you feel that yes, this is a part of it. Second, make sure that you understand the questions and follow instructions carefully. It is very much important that understanding the question. See, somewhere I'll give you one example more. If there's a question type called fill up the blanks, okay, and they have given you the options also, one word options also. Now the instruction is saying that you have to fill up the blanks with the letters of the words. For example, A, the word, B, word, C, word. Words are there. But when you're writing the whole word. But the instruction is you have to write the letter of the word. For example, B answer, and in particular B letter, the answer is park. And you're writing park. Instead of park, you have to write B. Okay, the sequence of the answer. A, B, C, D, E. So make sure that you are understanding the instructions properly, understanding the questions properly. Do not try and read every word. You are reading there in the examination where it is not at all required to read the whole part. And if you want to read it, you can read the novel. In fact, in the examinations, do not read it. Do not read the whole thing. Just identify the crux of each paragraph. Do not panic if you do not know anything about the subject. All answers can be found in the text with the help of keywords, underlining, identifying, understanding. Use singular and plural correctly. Attempt all questions and there are no penalties, and of course, check your answers. Okay. Sometimes in the instructions, they also give no more than one word, no more than two words, no more than three words, and or a number, or we can say and or numbers. Understand what they are giving you, what they want to give you, and what instructions they want to convey you. If they are giving you no more than two words, means out of 5 questions, 3 questions are there which require 2 words in the answer. And if you're writing only one word, as you're very much used to of it, so please understand that if the instruction is no more than 2 words, means minimum you have to write 1 word or 2 words. Okay, no more than 2 words, no more than 3 words. And or, what is that agenda of one and or? And means 1 word and a number, means you can write both. Or means either a word or a number. Okay, so this is what I want to let you know, that do not worry when you're going for the examination. It is a mind game where you are just playing with your mind what you want to do, and the important thing is it is you do not have any kind of penalty. Just make sure that you need to write your answers properly. I went through an article. I do not know who had written this, but I love this because this article is telling you the basic thing, the importance of the value or the thinking of a person who is going there and what you need to do. I'm just reading it for you all. Like, I must say, I don't know who had written this, but yes, I want to read this for you because this thing has given you the importance of reading in your examination, what you have to do, and what you can avoid, okay? And what is important and what is not important. So just I'm going through with it. I must say that this skill is based on intelligence. This skill means, of course, reading. I must say that this skill is based on intelligence very much. I was advised that reading various types of articles is the best way to prepare for IELTS. Of course, every trainer advised this. You have to read. So this is the advice given by every trainer. In reality, I have never done that simply because I don't have time, of course. I hate reading. But the fact is that in this skill, I got the highest score. I have no idea why. Not because I'm an intelligent man, but maybe, just maybe, because I can understand the main idea very well. Yes. It is not a vocabulary game you are playing with you. It is not a heavy word involvement. No. It is simply understanding the idea, understanding the crux of each paragraph. Reading requires a great deal of vocabulary. It is a myth, I suppose. Reading requires a great deal of vocabulary, but when my friends tell me that I got the high score because I have a good range of vocabulary, I totally disagree. Vocabulary is important. Yes, vocabulary is important. But you don't need to know every word. You should only know keywords, the words that can change completely the answers. If my question is saying all, and if my passage is saying some, this is small word which is changing my answer. All, some, these are contradictory. Sometimes you can identify your questions related to identify the questions related to the answer, related to the vocab, very small vocabs, very small determiners. Okay. Pay a particular attention to the grammar structure. You may see various types of grammar structures, but try to understand them all. They will be helpful for your writing. Most of us have limited vocabulary, but if you are weak at grammar, you don't know what the text refers to, and obviously you lose a main idea. As a result, you can't guess the meaning based on text. So grammatical structure is very important. With the help of grammar structure, you will be able to find out that this particular topic is telling you what, whether it is telling you about the past, its future, or present. Okay, let me continue this article. Catching the main idea in reading is very important. It's also important, I can say it's very important. Main idea means the whole, many students do this mistake that what they do, they read the whole paragraph. And just with the help of this one line, you are giving your answer. With the help of this one line, you are giving your answer, and this is wrong. Okay. So what I feel that if you are reading the paragraph, identify the crux that what paragraph is telling you. So catching the main idea in reading is also very important. You must have known that skimming and scanning are two essential tools in reading. Both rely on understanding of main ideas. Therefore, if you can't catch main ideas in a short time, you will suffer. But how to practice getting main ideas in a brief time? I must say that reading various articles in this case is helpful. But I try to do reading test every day and try to understand the main idea of every passage. Another way to practice reading is speed reading. Okay. I have known this method from English centers, but too many people, maybe this is still a strange way. You choose a short essay passage about 500 words and then read quickly. Please note that passage you choose must be easy. If there are more than 5 words that are completely new to you, perhaps it is not a good passage for the speed reading. In addition, reading as quickly as possible is not the key. If you read so fast that you have to read again, There are no benefits gained from this practice. Okay, so this person is telling you the whole thing, that what you need to do when you are practicing. The key here is main ideas and next is details. Besides understanding all main points, you should try to remember as much details as you can. In speed reading exercise, there are 10 true, false, not given questions for you to do at the back. These questions will measure accurate comprehension. So always try to read the passages with specifically two question types. The first question type is true, false, not given, and yes, no, not given. The second question type is match the headings. Okay. So after that, besides skimming and scanning, I found that reading intensively is also important in the IELTS test. Intensive reading, especially to understand tough questions. Some questions for particular sentences, you need to read and try to understand every single word, especially with this true, false, not given, and yes, no, not given. A single word can change the whole meaning. Okay, a single word that I told you, that many, all, some, little, these are the words. After finishing the reading practice test, you must check all wrong answers. Try to explain why. Now, analysis of your answers is very important. After finishing your reading practice test, make sure that you are finding your wrong answers and you are analyzing it. And think of another way to answer those questions faster. If you're doing again the same mistakes again and again, means you are lacking somewhere. Okay. So in brief, guessing is the key in reading. You must guess logically and academically. Take time to practice reading. You'll see that your reading skills will improve in a short period of time. So a very good thing that the whole article is giving you the crux, that please understand the keyword, understand the main idea, understand the proper thing structures. Okay. And the last thing what I want to deliver you is, okay, let's practice one thing, that is match the heading, how you need to go. Okay, what are the common mistakes you do? That you read 3-4 times your paragraph. Do not read. If you're reading it first time, read it at normal pace and underline the keywords. Okay, so let's go with this children's literature. There's a match the heading in which you need to read the paragraph A and give me the answer. That paragraph A is saying you what comment. These are in the right part. You can see 1 to 10. There are particular headings are there. You have to read paragraph A and give me the answer. You have only 2 minutes or 1 minute, I can say, because the paragraph is very, very small. So read the paragraph A and give me the answer. What could be the answer of paragraph A? And you have 10 options in the right, 1 to 10. Read the paragraph, identify the crux and give me the answer, what it is telling you. You have 1 minute to have your answer. Children's literature. Read it, what is saying you. Let me read with you people. Give your answers also. I am sometimes asked why anyone who is not a teacher or a librarian or a parent of little kids should concern herself with children's books and folklore. I know the standard answers, that many famous writers have written for children, and that the great children's books are also great literature, that these books and tales are an important source of archetype and symbol, and that they can help us to understand the structure and functions of the novel. So children's literature, they are praising, right? Or we can say the writer is praising. Let me read this once again. I am sometimes asked why anyone who is not a teacher or librarian or the parent of little kids should concern herself with children's books or folklore. I know the standard answers, that many famous writers have written for children, and that the great children's books are also great literature. Maybe from this line I'm getting the answer. I know the standard answer, that many famous writers have written for children, and the great children's books are also great literatures, and these books and tales are an important source of archetype and symbol. So, what could be the answer? Let me read the paragraph. Optimistic belief held by the writers of children's literature. Optimistic beliefs held by the writers of children's literature. here we are not talking about all the writers. The attitudes of certain adults towards children, we are not talking about here adults. See the keyword in the first heading. I have my keyword optimistic beliefs and writers. We are not getting. The second is attitudes of adults. No, we are not getting this in the paragraph. And third, the traction of children's literature. No, we are not getting. Fourth, a contrast that categorizes a book as children's. What contrast we are facing? No. Fifth, a false assumption made about. We are not getting any false assumption here. Sixth, the conventional view of children's literature. Yes, this is the answer. The conventional view of children's literature. Because we are getting a view what children's literature is. We can read ahead. 7, some good and bad features. We are not contradicting. We are not giving any kind of differences. 8, classifying a book as we are not classifying it anything. We are just giving a praising. We are just giving a view that what children's literature is. The treatment of various themes. No. Another way of looking. Another way. What's my first way? My first way is that what's children's books and why writer is writing. And why it is important? Because it is very much important and it's very much useful. So the answer is 6. The conventional view. The first 3 lines you can give. I am sometimes asked by anyone who is not a teacher, a librarian or the parent of little kids should concern herself with children's books. Okay. So you are getting a view of children's literature that these books are very important and these books are of course indeed they are used for various purposes. Okay. So let's move on to the next part, to the next question. And the next question is this in front of you. Sorry, that's a B. Okay, let's read the B paragraph and give me the answer. All this is true. All this is true, but I think we should also take children's literature seriously because it is sometimes subversive. All this is true, but I think we should also take children's literature seriously because it is sometimes subversive because its values are not always those. Its values are not always those of the conventional adult world. Of course, in a sense, much great literature is subversive since its very existence implies that what matters is art, imagination and truth. In what we call the real world, what usually counts is money, power and public success. Okay, students, give your answers for paragraph B. For paragraph B. All this is true, but I think we should also take children's literature seriously. Are you getting that? That the first view was something which was mentioned in the paragraph A, and the second paragraph, the first line is all this is true, but I think we should also take children's literature seriously because it is sometimes subversive because its values are not always those. So can you imagine that the first view is in paragraph A and second view is in paragraph B? So you can say the answer is 10th. Another way of looking at children's literature. Okay. Mr. Shahid has given the answer 4th, but this is wrong. A contrast that categorizes a book as children's. A contrast. We are not contrasting. We are giving another view. What is contrast? Contrast means if one is saying yes, the other is saying no. Okay. We are not contrasting it. We are saying that we should have another method. We should also take children's literature seriously because it is sometimes subversive. So we are not contrasting. We are just having our another look on it. So the answer is another way of looking at children's literature. Okay. Let's go for the last slide of today's Facebook live session. And the next slide is for paragraph C and D. Okay, let's read. The great subversive works of children's literature suggest that there are other views of human life besides those of the shopping mall and corporation. Now read it and give me the answer. The great subversive works of children's literature suggest that There are other views of human life besides those of shopping, mall, and corporation. They mock current assumptions and express the imaginative, unconventional, non commercial view of the world in simplest and purest form. They appeal to the imaginative, questioning, rebellious child within all of us, renew our instinctive energy, and acts as a force of change. This is why such literature is worthy of our attention and will endure long after more conventional tales have been forgotten. Okay, so this paragraph C is giving you the crux that if you are paying your attention for your children's literature, but what is the importance of the fact? What is the importance of this paragraph is what children's literature is giving you to do, what they are, why they are there to help you out. You can see with the third line. Okay, Shahid has given the answer first, but I think by the writers. You are not taking this answer by the writers. Writers is not, there. The great subversive works, we are talking about the works of children literature. What they are doing. Okay, what they are doing, they are helping, they mock current assumptions and express the imaginative, unconventional, non-commercial view of the world in the simplest form and purest form. This is our line. What they are grabbing attention. Children's literature are important because of these things. They appeal to the imaginative. They are appealing to the imaginative, questioning, rebellious child within all of us. And you can read also last line. This is why such literature is worthy of our attention and will endure long. So that is why this is important, right? So what is the importance of child's literature? That they are making us to feel imaginative, questioning, rebellious. So we can have the answer third here, the attraction of children's literature. The attraction of children. Optimistic beliefs. We are not getting here optimism. We are getting why children's literature is important and what they are giving you. So the answer is third, the attraction of children's literature. Okay. Let's read the last paragraph of today's session. An interesting question is what, besides intention, makes a particular story of children's book, with the exceptions of picture books for toddlers. Those works are not necessarily shorter or simpler than the so-called adult fiction. The heroes and heroines of these tales, it is true, are often children, but then so are the protagonists of Henry James' What Messi Knew and Thomas Morrison's The Bluest Eye. Yet the barrier between children books and adult fiction remains. Editors, critics, readers seem to have little trouble in assignment a given work. No, you can feel that statement is very, very tough. You can find that the statement or the paragraph is telling you different things. An interesting question is what, besides intention, makes a particular story a children's book. With the exception of picture books for toddlers, these works are not necessarily shorter or simpler than so-called adult fiction. And what is that? So the answer is, eighth. Classifying a book as children's literature. Okay, you are classifying it. If you are classifying something, you are making it at children part and adult part. Okay, so you can read, because I have given you such important thing. The only reason is you have to identify the crux, you have to identify the whole thing. I'll take match the headings one more time, and with these difficult match the heading type of questions, because this will give you a kind of practice session, this will give you a kind of things. Okay, so I hope this reading session was very much helpful for you, because it is very much important to understand the importance of reading, importance of skimming, importance of scanning, etc. So make sure that you are going good, make sure that you are practicing a lot, make sure that you are reading a lot. With the help of reading, you are able to find out your answers. Okay, so here I am signing off, because it will come with more, because it's now the time to give you a bye, because we'll come with more sessions For the next time, for the next part, maybe we are going with different parts like more, writing, task 1, task 2, and speaking and listening to. So we are there to help you out. If you have any queries, you can just post your comments, you can ask your doubts. We are always available for you. Okay, till the time, thank you, bye bye, take care.